Our universe story starts long, long ago. My book begins about 13.8 billion years in the past. It all commenced with a truly enormous event. We call this remarkable event the Big Bang. Everything we know was once in one tiny spot. This singular spot was smaller than a tiny atom. It was hotter than anything we can possibly imagine, and it was incredibly, unimaginably dense packed. Then, in a brilliant flash, it all expanded, faster than you can even begin to think. The universe began to grow very rapidly. From that tiny infinitesimal point, it got bigger, and then bigger still, continuously. This amazing expansion continues even to this day. It was not an explosion happening within space. It was space itself that was expanding outward. In the very first tiny fractions of a second, the universe was like a hot soup of pure energy. As it expanded outwards, it also cooled down. This important cooling allowed tiny particles to form. These were the fundamental basic building blocks of everything. Little things like quarks and electrons first appeared. These particles would later come together to make atoms. It was a very busy, tremendously energetic time. After only a few minutes, it cooled down more, enough for protons and neutrons to then form. These particles then combined to make the first nuclei. These were the nuclei of the very first elements. These elements were mostly hydrogen and also helium, the simplest and the lightest elements in existence. For about 380,000 years, it was a hot, opaque fog. Then, atoms formed and light could finally travel freely. The young universe was almost entirely dark. It was primarily filled with hydrogen and helium gas. These vast clouds of gases were not spread out evenly. The force of gravity began to pull them together. This happened slowly, over many millions of years. Huge, enormous clouds of gas started to form. These massive clouds were the great cosmic nurseries. They were the places where future stars would be born. Gravity is an incredibly powerful cosmic force. It persistently pulled these gas clouds inward on themselves. As all the gas squeezed together, it got much denser. The pressure in the very center of the cloud increased. This immense pressure also made the gas hotter. Imagine squeezing a bicycle pump very quickly. The pump itself gets warm. So did these clouds. The cosmic stage was set for something truly amazing. When the center of such a cloud got hot enough and also dense enough, a spectacular miracle happened. Hydrogen atoms began to fuse together powerfully. This incredible process is called nuclear fusion. It releases an absolutely tremendous amount of energy. This released energy pushed outward, balancing gravity's pull. A bright star was then born, shining brilliantly. The dark universe slowly started to light up. These newly born stars were usually not alone. Gravity also worked to pull these stars together. They formed truly enormous groups of many stars. We call these massive groups of stars galaxies. Our very own home galaxy is the Milky Way. It contains hundreds of billions of shining stars, and there are billions of other galaxies out there too. Each one is filled with countless stars. A fun fact for you! Now let us zoom into our own cosmic galaxy, the Milky Way, a truly beautiful spiral in space. About 4.6 billion years ago, something started to stir. A giant swirling cloud of gas and fine dust floated. This immense cloud was initially cold and very dark. It was made mostly of hydrogen, helium, and tiny dust. This was the essential raw material for our sun, and also for Earth and all the other planets. Something significant disturbed this giant peaceful cloud. Perhaps a nearby star exploded, sending out shockwaves. The cloud then began to collapse under its own gravity. As it collapsed inward, it started to spin around, much like a spinning ice skater pulling their arms in. It spun faster and faster and flattened into a disk. Most of the available material swirled to the center. This dense central part got extremely dense and hot. The very center of this spinning disk grew hotter and hotter still, and even more incredibly dense. Eventually, the conditions there were absolutely just right. Nuclear fusion ignited powerfully in its core, just like it happened in the very first stars. A brand new star then ignited in the Milky Way. This particular star is our very own sun. It provides our planet with essential light and warmth. Around our young sun, the white disk still remained. This disk was full of leftover gas and tiny dust. Tiny little dust grains started slowly sticking together. A bit like how dust bunnies form under your bed. These small clumps gradually grew larger and larger. They became planetesimals, then much bigger protoplanets. Eventually, these massive bodies formed the planets, including our Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and all the others. Our precious Earth was one of these growing clumps. It formed carefully in this swirling disk of material. In the very beginning, Earth was extremely different. It was a hot, completely molten ball of rock. It was bombarded by asteroids and comets constantly. There was absolutely no air for anyone to breathe, and there was no liquid water on its entire surface. It was a truly harsh and fiery young world. Over many millions of years, planet Earth began to cool. A much more solid crust formed on its outer surface. Volcanoes erupted, releasing gases from deep inside Earth. These released gases started to form an early atmosphere. Comets, which are like giant icy cosmic snowballs, crashed into the young Earth, bringing stores of water. This precious water collected to form the vast oceans. Our beautiful blue planet started to truly take shape. Earth is situated in a very special, unique place. It orbits our sun at a nearly perfect distance. We often call this ideal region the Goldilocks zone. It means it's not too hot, like the planet Venus, and it's also not too cold, like the planet Mars. It's just the right temperature for water to be liquid. Liquid water is absolutely essential for supporting life. At least it is for life as we currently know it. Because of this life-giving water and other vital factors, something truly amazing and wonderful happened on Earth. Life itself began in the ancient primordial oceans. These were tiny, very simple life forms at first. Over vast billions of years, this life slowly evolved into all the diverse plants and animals we see today. Earth is the only place we currently know with life. That makes our home planet incredibly special and precious.